In Japan, there's this art form of taking broken pottery and soldering it back together with gold. And the whole idea is that the pottery is more beautiful after it's been broken than it was before. And so I've got my heart with my soldered gold, just to remind myself that although my heart has been broken many times, it's become more beautiful each time it's been broken. Growing up here was complicated. I think in middle school, I was struggling and I didn't know why or exactly how, and so I didn't know how to explain that. I used to write a lot of poems and just writing about, kind of fantasizing about how I would kill myself. So I think that's when I really started to notice that things were hard. And that's when I kind of started to get into snowboarding, and that I loved. My first knee injury, I tore my meniscus. When I was 18, I got a bunch of concussions. I got 4 concussions in 5 days. So that was kind of really the beginning of having these major lapses in memory. Started having horrible anxiety and just constant pain. So I was taking probably 6 to 8 Vicodin a day. It numbed me out. It numbed the pain, and the emotional pain, the physical pain, and it just kind of got me through. I've had a total of 9 knee surgeries, and the first one was when I was 16, and I was just in excruciating pain. It wasn't going away, and nobody knew why, and I could talk about it all day long, but then it got to the point of okay, I guess this is my life. I can either complain about it and bring it up constantly and poor me, or I can just get over it, and I was starting to realize through going to therapy that a lot of the anxiety and the memory loss and the overwhelmed feelings, a lot of those things that I had been dealing with were actually post-concussive issues. And so it was kind of this overall shift of okay, if I'm gonna live well. I started doing yoga. I did my teacher training, which I felt I just learned a lot through that. I learned a lot about myself through that. I got involved with a local nonprofit Children's Global Alliance. After kind of my rocky teenage years, I just had this soft spot for these kids who, were just trying to figure out who they were. But there was still kind of this tough love side of me that was I got through it, you can get through it. Throughout all those years, I'd had little relationships here and there, but nothing really significant. And I ended up dating a guy that pretty early on let me know that he had a past of addiction and drug abuse. I started to kind of realize that an addict was an addict, but I also knew that he really, really wanted to be sober. And I was getting ready to go overseas again, and I just needed I needed my head on straight. I needed my life together. And it was, in my mind, it was a break. It was okay, I need to focus on what I'm going to do. You need to focus on actually getting yourself healthy, and we'll reconvene when I come back. And 5 days before I went home, my mom called me. I was in Nepal, and my mom told me that he had killed himself. It was the most surreal moment of heartbreak and relief and confusion. And what was I supposed to learn from that relationship? How was I supposed to grow? How am I supposed to take this and move forward? I feel I'm starting to put myself back together. And I guess that's one of the great things about being so broken apart, is that you kind of get to be oh, I don't want this piece anymore, but I'll take this piece. Everybody has their traumas. They're all different. We all have hard things we've been through, and the simplest thing we can do to make the world a better place is to start with ourselves and to kind of deal with and process the struggles we've been through. My happiest moments are just taking my dog out for walks and being outside. I am trying to build up my life coaching business. It's called Wild Coaching. I think I've realized how much joy I just get from spending time with teenagers and being someone that they can talk to and being the person that they call when they need something. And even if I don't have a solution, just listening. I feel like I finally have found like what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. I don't want the struggles that I've had to not have a purpose. I want every hard thing that I've been through to help somebody else.